Hi, I'm Danielle Sauls, and we're going to be looking at tuberculosis, new versus old treatments. Tuberculosis is a bacterial disease caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which is transmitted by air through infected air droplet particles. A brief history of tuberculosis. The first recorded case of TB was recorded over 9,000 years ago in an ancient civilization of Yam. Far later, in 1834, it was determined what bacterium, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, caused the disease TB, therefore coining the term tuberculosis. Then, in 1951, the first mass-producible drug, isoniazid, was synthesized. But then, not long after the first mass-producible drug, in 1956, the first recorded resistance to TB was found. The first drug to look at, and one of the oldest drugs treating TB, is isoniazid. Isoniazid is not active when entering the mycobacterium, but becomes activated with CatG. It becomes extremely reactive, binding to multiple mandatory enzymes, which prohibit the synthesis of mycolic acid, which is very important in creating the cell wall of cells. So it inhibits further replication of cells by not allowing a cell wall to form. Pyrazinamide is another highly important drug that has been used to treat tuberculosis. It enters through passive diffusion, and its protonated acid form actually causes the most damage by creating, by not only disrupting the membrane by re-entering the cell, but by causing extreme acidity in the cytoplasm, which denatures mandatory enzymes used for replication and everyday function of the bacterium. Then there's ethambutol, which directly impacts the cell wall as like isoniazid. It specifically inhibits the synthesis of a very important sugar, arabinin, as well as mycotic acid, disrupting the cell wall formation. Finally, rifampicin inhibits RNA synthesis, which directly inhibits certain proteins from being formed in the cell. And it inhibits RNA synthesis in one of two ways: by either disrupting the elongation on the 5' end, so not allowing the 5' cap to be placed, or decrease in RNA polymerase's affinity to place the short transcripts and make the mRNA itself. Those are the old ways of treating tuberculosis. The current treatments for tuberculosis include a combination of the four. Because of the resistance that has built up to those four individual antibacterials for TB, a combination is the current desired method for treating TB, which the dosages just depend on the symptoms and the individual's reactions to the drugs and any pre-existing conditions. The baseline is always isoniazid with a combination of PZA, ethambutol, and rifampicin added to it. However, recently, human clinical trials in 2019 were completed for what is called BPAL, a set of 3 drugs that have demonstrated extreme effectiveness for treating TB. So those have a promising future in being new treatments for tuberculosis. In conclusion, tuberculosis has been around for an extremely long time, allowing for natural bacterial resistance to build up as the bacterial mutate in their genomes. Currently, the most effective method is a combination of the antibacterials that the TB has already shown to be resistant to, but the current research being done on new drugs each day for TB shows extreme promise in being a future treatment. Thank you for your time.